Hello everyone, it's Dom here from Esports News UK. It's day 2 of Insomnia, interview 4. I think I'm going to start losing track soon. And I'm joined by Lauren from the NUEL.
Yes.
And you are product manager for women's and non-binary leagues.
League of Legends.
League
yeah.
of Legends. I got it right. I remembered it all.
First try.
How are you, Lauren? How's
I'm
it
brilliant.
going?
Yeah, having a really good weekend so far. It's so busy and it's so nice to see everyone coming together again after obviously a very long time without stuff like this. So
Absolutely.
yeah, having a ball.
Yeah. Is this your first Insomnia? Because you said you're at the BYOC as well, right?
Yeah, I've been to one before. It was i68, I think, but I think that was like 2019. So it was quite a few years ago. But yeah, definitely really excited for this one. And
Absolutely. And do you know what? I'm really happy because the NUEL was like around when I set up Esports News UK 6 or so years ago. Obviously, Josh set up the NUEL way before that. I think it's about 11 or 12 years old now.
Yeah.
Celebrated its sort of 10th anniversary the other year. And it's been great to see the NUEL branch out, works with Amazon now and GG Tech and everything. And you know, operates in multiple games.
Yes.
But not only that, we've recognised that, you know, it's one of the few organisations out there that has a women's and non-binary league or multiple leagues now. Is it League of Legends and Valorant?
Yeah, so it did originally start with just League of Legends, but now we have a Valorant tournament as well. Obviously, Valorant is becoming so much more popular. So yeah, we're offering that at the moment as well too.
Yeah, and I want to cover this stuff more. We were saying there's so many leagues out there.
Yeah.
I need help, but you're going to send me the brackets and I want to make sure. Because I did interview the winner of the first one. I think it was Derby Pajama
Guardians,
That's
yes,
it.
yeah.
So tell us about the most recent one and, you know, a bit about the winner, how it went and everything like that.
Yeah, so the recent one, I think we had about 9 or 10 teams sign up and it was a 4-week tournament and it went really smoothly. Everyone had a lot of fun. Penultimately, the final was Ethereal Cats were the winners. I believe they've won the split before as well, so they're the reigning champions, so definitely the ones to beat. Coming, you know, up and coming, but yeah, it's just, yeah, it's really fun to have, you know, such a supportive and kind of wholesome, you know, environment. Like everyone just genuinely has so much fun, and that's what I love the most about it.
Which university do they represent?
I believe it was mixed actually.
Right,
for our women non-binary tournament, just because there is less players that are allowed to participate, we do allow mixed universities, so I believe they were friends already and then they just formed a team together. So
it's an interesting one, you know, because I think Riot Games have done pretty well with the Valorant side of things. They've got their Valorant game changers,
yeah.
And I keep saying to my friends and people at Riot, when are we going to get a League of Legends game
Exactly.
changers?
I mean, League's been around for what, 12, 13 years now? Yeah, definitely would be something that would, you know, I'd love to see.
Yeah, because we have a few League female tournament. I think there's the Female Legends thing in Sweden, and we've had a few.
I think there's
sort
like
of smaller.
Gamer Girl Fest and stuff like that. Yeah, there's quite a few, but not actually anything that's like officially Riot, I don't believe.
Yeah, or not super regular. It seems to be land focused,
Yes,
whereas what you're doing is regular, and you've done it for a few seasons now.
Yeah.
How's it gone? Because I've tuned into a few Twitch streams, and it seems to be pretty well we've received. I'm a big advocate of diversity in esports. There are some people out there, including some women, that will say they don't want women's only leagues. However, I think the majority say they want a safe space to play.
And that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it's all about, I believe. Yeah.
And to encourage them to like maybe get to the, you know, the next level.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes people who come from marginalised genders or backgrounds, they can feel quite intimidated to join these kind of leagues. So what we exist to just be kind of like a safe space and kind of like a stepping stone for people. I know in an ideal world we wouldn't have to have these tournaments, but unfortunately that's how it is at the moment. And hopefully with steps, you know, small steps like this, we can work towards creating, you know, a more inclusive space for everybody in the future. So that's, yeah, I think it's definitely like a stepping stone in the right direction.
Because, you know, there might be critics out there and they'll say silly things like when's the men's only tournament, whereas you know, we've got the LEC, the NLC. If you look at that, it is all predominantly men.
It is.
Esports is great because it is technically mixed gender. It's open. That top level
it's
LEC
for everyone.
is for everyone. It's not like football. You've got men's football and women's football. However, there's a lack of women at that top level.
Exactly.
And for me, from what I've seen, I mean, it's a complex subject, but from the women I've spoken to, some seem to be put off by lobbies, solo queue. If they have a name that is whatever, Rebecca something,
Yes,
and it gives
I
away that
feel-
they're a
yeah,
woman,
I feel
they
the
might get a
same.
bit of abuse and toxicity and sort
Or
of
their play
sexist
style
comments.
or who they like to play.
And you know, some women I've spoken to, it's put them off. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do that grind that the male pro players will grind it out.
Yeah, like 13, 14 hours a day, you know, it can get very mentally taxing for these people who can't, they just can't perform to their best ability because of these factors, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm not saying, you know, men will get toxic comments as well, but they
course,
won't
yeah.
get the sexist comments.
Exactly,
And that's what people, I don't think, realise. You know, spend a day in a woman League of Legends player's shoes and see what that's like.
Yeah, I actually saw a Twitter user the other day, and I think they were kind of doing like a social experiment, and he changed his league name to something quite feminine and was reporting back on the amount of abuse he received, and he said it was like shocking, and people like don't realise how bad it actually is, you know, just for having like he isn't a woman, you know, he just had a feminine name. Yeah. And yeah, it's crazy.
And people say, you know, there's one argument about it is like, oh, just mute everyone. And, you know, she's gone on to do big and wonderful things now. Yinsu Collins, you know.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I played a Valorant game with her ages ago, and we had some idiot doing those comments, and I was like, I'll just mute him kind of thing. Yeah. But then she explained to me afterwards, actually, you can't. It's about educating and more than
I actually
that.
retweeted a tweet yesterday. It said, why is it always you should mute the sexists and not why is there misogyny in video gaming? Like, it's, like, why aren't we saying to the people being sexist instead, stop doing this, instead of telling the victims to just, you know, like, simply mute, you know? It's, and it's a tricky situation, because even still, when you mute players, you feel that they still can kind of ruin your games, like intentionally feeding and things, you know. Some people are just not nice. No. So
I think there was some comments that Monte Cristo made recently, which I agreed with, was that devs need to do more.
Yes.
Basically, I feel like devs are afraid to punish players, because they feel like, we're going to lose our players. But, you know, you've got to be more aware of, for me, like the well-being of the players and safeguarding and so on.
We need to care more about the communities that play our games, and I feel like that does start with the devs and the publishers, definitely 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're here today, you're at BYOC, you're also, as I understand it, part of the Intel cohort 2022,
yes,
so this is 20 students that are recognised and, you know, as sort of like future talent in the industry. What's that been like, to be recognised, be part of that initiative?
Yeah, it's been great. I've got to meet like so many like-minded people, students who are also hoping to go into the esports industry like myself, and you know, it's really nice to have that sort of support system in place. We also have like a system where we have a buddy, like an industry buddy, so we have like monthly calls with them, and we can, you know, kind of like get an insight, because these people actually do work in the esports industry. So I'm with Nathan from Hitmarker, so we have call, so we have calls.
Sorry for you. If Nathan might be watching this later on, I'm only joking.
Yeah, but no, it's so good. Like, we just have monthly check-ins, and I'll probably see him over the weekend as well. We just got a pick, the whole Future Gen cohort. Got to meet, we get to meet people, like we met Kieran Holmes Darby, who, co-founded XL, and just, it's really cool to have, you know, get that opportunity to meet these people and just get an insight into something that we're all so passionate about. So I really enjoyed being a part of that. Very honoured.
What would you like to do after what are you studying? I didn't even ask you.
Marketing.
Right.
It's marketing and advertising masters. So I would definitely like to go into kind of something to do with maybe social media, community, that sort of thing. Obviously in my role in NUEL, I really, really enjoy like the community we have, the women in non-binary. We have like our own Discord server, and I love, you know, that whole kind of side of it. So I'd love to do something like that, but I'd say that like the most important thing to me is like I want to make a change. That's something that's really passionate to me. Like I want to, it's like kind of cheesy, but be the change you want to see, sort of thing. So definitely something to do with like diversity and equality, and
The other thing that's just popped into my head is the ESL Women's League they've announced recently. Well, they announced it I think late last year. And that, I can't remember what the prize pool is now, but it's a lot. I can't remember if it's like $500,000 or something like that. What are your views on that? Because that seems to me to be the first sort of women's league that is, you know, at that pro level with a substantial amount of money. Yeah,
it's great to see. And I love that like women are being given this opportunity to perform on a big stage. You know, I used to follow League Pro Play quite a lot, and there isn't really, you know, I don't see role models for myself. I don't see these women performing. So I think that's a really, really amazing like opportunity for them. And you know, it's all good that we get to play ranked in our, like, you know, PCs in our bedrooms, but professional play is such a huge thing as well, like getting that experience in front of people on stage, you know, performing and hearing the cheers. So yeah, I love that that's happening.
Absolutely. And Lauren, what's the future for, I guess, NUEL, women's and non-binary leagues, and, you know, anything else you'd like to add about that?
Yeah, so obviously we just want to make the tournament bigger and better. Anyone who is a woman or non-binary player in the UK or Ireland, you're more than welcome to come and participate. We have a Discord server. We're all super friendly, super chill. It's really fun. So yeah, I think we just want to make it bigger and better. And like, obviously, as I said, we now have a Valorant tournament. So, you know, maybe in the future, Overwatch 2 is coming out soon, I know. So, you know, perhaps even, you know, expanding into other games. As I said, it's just these small stepping stones, but we do really want to, you know, cater for everybody and just make it a more inclusive and welcoming space.
And I should have said, actually, it's universities.
Right?
NUEL is university.
Yes,
I forgot to say
esports,
that at the start.
yeah.
And I will just say at the end as well, NUEL, they're sort of, their finals are taking place this week, right? And this is their overall finals or mixed gender ones.
Mm-hmm.
So
they took part at Confetti this week. So we had a studio in Confetti in Nottingham, and a lot of people working on the production, a lot of casters, Janiro who's hosting, and it was awesome experience. It's all over now, so it was definitely a very busy. This week's been so jam packed with just loads of esports stuff. It's so cool to see, and everything's starting up again. But yeah.
And I want to say as well, we spoke off camera, shout out to Geomancy, because she actually founded these leagues, right?
So Geomancy and Tasha, who now works at Blast,
yes, of course,
they co-founded this tournament, so a massive shout out to them. The work that they do behind the scenes, like to facilitate things like this, I feel like people don't realise like how much they actually do, and it is like a huge thing, you know. It's really important. The fact that they even thought to do it in the first place, you know, it's really nice. And those two are definitely big role models for me. They're really, really amazing at what they do.
I feel bad. I used to work with Natasha Jones. Sorry, Tasha. How could I forget that? I didn't realise you co-founded that as well. So that's great to see.
She did a lot of work.
I think that's everything. To be honest, I'm going to try and cover the women's and non-binary leagues a bit more. I've said to David, send me press releases. It makes it easy for me to cover because there's millions of tournaments to cover. But it seems to have had a good response.
Yes, definitely.
You know, it's an important addition to the NUEL's roster of tournaments, I feel, and you know, good luck in the future, and keep me posted on the storylines and things like that.
Thank you so much.
Right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers everyone for watching. I'll be back with more Insomnia coverage. You know where it is now: YouTube, Esports News UK, the Twitter and everything. And I'll see you soon. And thanks to Aegon by AOC for sending me here as well. See you next time.